Everyone, this is Thendiel Swansong, author of the Final Fantasy XIV Dragoon Guide, How to Train Your Dragoon. What I'd like to do in this video is walk through Ariyala's toolkit, which is a powerful third-party website accessible at ffxiv.ariyala.com. So the function that I want to emphasize in this video is, I think, the most useful to the individual player, which is the My Inventory function. For ultimate long-term best-in-slot options, you are going to want to go ahead and use the links that I provided within my guide. I do have those arranged best-in-slot at different levels of accuracy. So when you do load up the website, you'll notice that it has Bard stuff. We'll just want to click on Disciples of War and Magic, switch over to Dragoon as a starting point. And then we go ahead and click My Inventory. So at first, nothing shows up because we haven't told it what's in our inventory. We'll want to hit Edit in order to start hashing that out. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the items that I have. I do have a lot of the older stuff, Astrum and High Allegan, but I'm not going to include that because essentially there's no way that those lower item level pieces will end up being best in slot because they have so much less strength than the more recent options. Although there are some exceptions for crafted stuff, which I talk a little bit about in the guide. Dervy Akimi has done a lot more work with that than I have, though. Okay, I will include the True Ice Bracer. It's possible with that crit and debt. That could show up in a best in slot option. And I do want to go ahead and include food. So I'm going to click all of these. I'm not including buttons in a blanket because it's very similar to Black Truffle Risotto. They'll essentially give you identical secondary stats, but Black Truffle gives you a little bit more vitality, and it's not very expensive, at least on my server. And I'll also point out that Flint Caviar and Steamed Catfish are very expensive, so you may want to exclude those if you're poor. So now we've got everything that all the relevant pieces that I have. In my inventory, I'll hit Done Editing, and so it's registered those items. And now what I'm going to do is hit Miscellaneous up here, and Best in Slot Solver. So you'll see that it has all of the up-to-date stat weights. They did update it recently. It used to be older values, but so it's computing how much each point of skill speed is worth, determination, crit, weapon damage, relative to an individual point of strength. So this category here, the min value for accuracy, is really important. That is one of the things I talk about in How to Train Your Dragoon, is that there is no one best in slot arrangement. You have different best in slot arrangements depending on the level of accuracy you're trying to hit. So that's true in the long term if you have all item level 130 and 135 pieces. It's also true even if we're just trying to manage our own inventory and the particular stuff that we happen to have. So we'll go for 512 accuracy here just as an example. That would be T9 frontal or Shiva extreme frontal. And we'll want to include food buffs. That way it's going to account for the food when it computes what's best in terms of secondary stats. So hit solve, and bam, highlighted in green, I have all of the options that I would want to equip in order to get the most oomph out of my gear, the most DPS possible out of my gear for Shiva extreme frontal or T9 frontal. And I'll be using Flint Caviar in this arrangement, it looks like. So that's essentially it for the My Inventory function. Hope this gives you a good sense of how to get the most out of your gear. There's a lot of other stuff, cool stuff available on Ariyala's gear calculator. It has a hunt tracker, it has crafting related functions, but I just wanted to again emphasize the My Inventory option. So I hope that you found this helpful.